So many times we hold things in and think like, this is the only way it can be done. I can't change anything. My life is out of control. No. Welcome back to Transaction Care. My name is Lillian Hernandez, but you can call me Lily. And we are back with another monthly check-in. I do these every first Wednesday of the month as a simple, hey, before we proceed, how are we doing? And at the time this is released, it is the middle of the year, June 2025 to be exact. So whether you're watching this in real time or somewhere in the future, welcome. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. And this is going to be one of those, take out a notepad, keep your mind open, and really just keep you in mind in this session, because what I intend with these monthly check-ins is for us to pause, like I said, take a pause from the busy life, the to-do list, and especially going into the summer months, which are typically busier because kids are out of school, people are traveling, if you're working in the real estate industry, people want to buy and sell their homes around this time because you get top dollar. So generally around this time, we are busier than normal. So why not spend the beginning of the summer taking time for ourselves and making sure that everything is still on track, that we are doing okay, not just the business, but me, self, you, yes, you, I'm talking to you, you watching. And this is somewhat of a check-in from my 2025 planning session that we had at the beginning of the year. So if you haven't watched that already, that's a good resource as well. But we're gonna go through everything that we discussed in that video here, but just in a shorter, condensed way, because this is all about making sure that we're hitting our markers. And if we're not, what are we doing wrong? Where can we make some adjustments? And we'll take it from there. If you want to learn more about myself before we move on, visit transactioncare.com. And you can also join my private community as well and become a member. I generally will offer coaching in there as well as discounts to other services and products that I have. And it's a great place for us to just commune and talk more in depth about things like this. And you can also schedule one-on-ones with me within the platform, and we can discuss this on a personal level as well. And I also offer one-on-one coaching, not just for transaction coordination, but for life in general. I am a certified life coach, as well as licensed real estate agent and certified transaction coordinator. So I'm covering as many bases as I can to help you on your journey and to let you know that you are not alone in this, okay? But I feel like these main points are gonna get you to having, if not the best year, at least one of your strongest years, because you're taking the time to check in with you, to make sure that you're okay, and just to make the adjustments so you aren't just blindsided when things happen that you could have somewhat prepared for. Of course, life is always going to have its surprises, and we can't control everything. That's one lesson I'm definitely still learning, is to let go of the control, surrender, to be patient. Patience being a virtue. I'm still trying to embody that, I'm going to be honest. But it's through exercises like this and being mindful of the different areas and categories of my life that allow me to say, okay, I don't have to rush this section of my life. Things are in place, things are in motion. I did all I can do. Now it's up to God to guide me, to lead me, and to make things happen. And if it doesn't work out, I either keep trying, let it go, or come back another day. All right. So let's start with a few things that I think are important. And again, this is definitely a self check-in for your business as well as your personal life. So it's going to be a mix of both. So you can apply all of this to either areas of you. Okay. And of course, tell a friend, because this would be a good exercise for you solo, as well as you and your family, whether it's your partner, your spouse, your roommates, your family, your parents. Anyone can benefit from doing this work, not just on a biannual basis, but also monthly, quarterly, annually. So give it a try. And if you want to bring it to the office as well, feel free. It's all here to help you improve and get better and enjoy this process. So many times we hold things in and think like, this is the only way it can be done. I can't change anything. My life is out of control. No, this is why we stop, pause, do a quick self-check-in, personal audit, I like to call. Let's just jump into it. I'm 5 minutes in. I'm gonna stop yapping. So the first thing we want to consider in this process is our why, right? Having a strong why is your foundation as to why you do anything, your reasons. So if you want to become a real estate professional or a transaction coordinator or quit your job or pivot from a business back into the 9-to-5 world, what is your why? What is going to hold you down in those times when things are not going great and you want to give up? In fact, I had one of those I want to give up moments today when I was on my way to a job I did not want to do, another story for another day, but it was remembering why I'm doing this and how I got into this situation in the first place that I continued on, I pursued it, and I ended up making the problem bigger in my head than it was in reality. So sometimes we can overthink things, and when you have a solid why to ground you and to remind you, hey, this is why I'm doing this. If this is the route that I have to take, I accept it for what it is, and if it's not meant for me, we move on. And having a solid why is key in that journey. So how are you doing? Are you, do you need to revise your why? Do you need to adjust it? Do you need to add to it? It's up to you. And again, this is all for you to tweak and adjust. I'm going to give you guys a bunch of things to consider, but feel free to add or remove as necessary and what applies to your life. But I feel like all of these areas have really given me a clear vision of what I'm working towards and the foundation that all of this is built on. So let me know if that helps you along your journey. So we checked in with our why. How is our why doing? And your word of the year. What was your word of the year? My word of the year is discipline. And discipline has been showing up in my life in ways that I did not imagine. Like having to renew my real estate license. I had forgotten that I had to sit and study for hours, and it takes me longer because I tend to read quickly and then not remember anything I read. So I have to slowly read each word one by one in order to comprehend it and focus. And if I have too many distractions, my mind is going to be elsewhere. I'm going to read the material, fail the quizzes. It's just not a good time. So my word of the year is discipline, and it has been showing up, like I said, in many ways. And it's forcing me to grow out of my comfort zone as well, but also proving to me that I am capable of doing hard, difficult things and things that I don't want to do, and putting my feelings aside for the greater good of my why, my goals, my dreams, my visions that I have in life and what God has in store for me. So is the word of the year still applicable? Does it still feel strong and valid? And what are some ways that you can feed into it to put it into action? And then the next ones, I'll just kind of list them one by one, but it's your mission statement, your values, your key pillars, your dreams, your goals, your commitments, promises, and accountability. Meaning when it comes to your business, and you can, like I said, you can do this for your personal life as well. It doesn't have to be business and career related. I do this for my personal life and my business life, and I just mesh it all together because all of it to me is blended. My business and my life are one. So, but it is not my identity. So having a strong mission statement is somewhat related to your why, but for your business or your life, and it keeps you on track in terms of who you are as a person and what you do things for, and knowing your values. Like some people prefer loyalty over respect. I prefer respect over loyalty, and respect is a high value of mine. In fact, my other values are fun, respect, creativity, trust, and integrity. So if those 5 elements exist within my world when it comes to making decisions about my personal life, my business, relationships, whatever the case may be, as long as it airs within those 5 categories, then I know I'm making the right decision. And if I find myself veering away from those values, then I know I'm veering away from me at my heart and my core, who I am as a person and what I'm working towards. So take some time to reevaluate, reassess, edit, add to all of these elements of your life and your business, and keep going. The next few categories are key because these implement parts of you from mind, body, and soul, head to toe, literally. And the first one we want to tackle is, and this is all related to health, hence care for yourself, care for your wealth. Caring for yourself all falls into place when it comes to making money, right? But if you value money above yourself, you're always going to be disappointed. If you work only for the money and not to please the family, your God, yourself, then you're always going to be disappointed. So consider these next few elements of your life, and you could do a rating system, 1 through 10. You can do emojis, thumbs up, thumbs down, however you want to evaluate yourself and check in with yourself. Just try not to skip any of these elements, because oftentimes what I have noticed in my past life, in one-on-one sessions with clients, when I do my coaching sessions, is so often the business aspect will be 10 out of 10, but their health is at a solid 2.5, 3 on a good day when they can get a good walk-in. So it's not so much about having everything be a 10 or everything being above a 7. It's more so, yes, having everything above a 5, 7 mark would be great, but it's bringing the mindfulness to these areas of your life. So gradually you can start adding to get better at them, to improve yourself, because all of this, when it's all in motion and in action, impacts your mental health, which is why this is the first step, is how are you doing spiritually, mentally, emotionally? Just how are you doing up here? And because that impacts everything, like I said, head to toe, and how your attitude towards work, your attitude towards your family members, your attitude towards yourself. So how are you doing up here? Do you need to start adding additional resources and tools to your day-to-day, such as therapy? Perhaps, do you have a spiritual life? Do you believe in God? Do you believe in Jesus? Do you have practices like journaling? I'm a personal journaling advocate. Journaling saved my life, truly. When I was afraid and intimidated to go to God, or too shy or embarrassed to go to family and friends, or if I couldn't afford therapy, journaling saved my life. And that opened the doors to so many things to improve my spiritual, mental, emotional life, because that eventually opened up the doors to improving my physical life, fitness, nutrition. The more I worked on myself, the more I fell in love with myself. And the more I was trusting in God and learning about my relationship with God and Jesus, it opened up. And this is not to push any spiritual beliefs or religion on anyone. This is just my personal journey as reflected based on these categories. It will be different for everyone. I just can only be me and be as transparent based on my experiences. So you can either respect it and keep watching, or turn it off, on to the next. No hard feelings. But having good mental, emotional practices in place has really opened up the doors to me wanting to take care of myself physically. And that could be more than just fitness. Everyone thinks about physical fitness, meaning I gotta go work out, I have to go to the gym, I have to lift weights, I have to run. No, it could mean, are you taking vitamins? How's your hair? How's your teeth? Your gum health, your sinuses. Do you stretch? You don't even have to step into a gym or pay for a membership, but it's like, how do you feel physically? Do you need to get a haircut? Do you want to get your nails done? Do you just need to go to the doctor to get your annual physical? It's stuff like that opens up to you really taking care of yourself, literally on a physical level. But I really do encourage people to add at least 20 minutes of walking in their week. It doesn't have to be daily. Daily is encouraged, but 20 minutes minimum of just cardio, walking in place. And you can even break it up, 5 minutes in the morning, afternoon, evening, night, 20 minutes, done. So once you've worked on your physical and your mental, you want to look into your relationships. How are you doing when it comes to collaborating or, being in relations with other people, whether you're single, dating, partnered, married? How is that relationship doing? And where can you improve, or where are you doing great? Do you need to check in with your partner as well and see, how are you doing in their eyes, and vice versa? And then in that same vein, you want to consider your family dynamics, your friend dynamics, and your community dynamics, because so often I think we get comfortable in our ways and knowing that this person is always going to love me, so I don't have to check in with them, or I don't have to reach out, or maybe I want them to reach out to me more, or whatever the case. Sometimes we take these people for granted, and a subtle check-in of, you know what, I miss my cousin that lives in New York. Let me reach out to them and see how they're doing. Quick text or quick comment on a photo on social media, something just to reach out. Or maybe you add to your calendar, every Friday for 1 hour, I'm going to reach out to 5 family members that I haven't spoken to in 3 months, in 3 years, whatever the case. Or I'm going to write a letter to my mom every week and mail it to her, even though we talk on the phone every day, or even though we, or someone you live with. But whatever the case may be, how are, where does that rank in your time? Do you want to spend more time with them? Do you want to take a trip with them? It's up to you, right? And then beneath that, you want to consider some personal items like renewing your real estate license, as I mentioned earlier, for me, or maybe your passport so you can travel. Is that something that's been on your list? I know I'll have to get real IDs this year, so that was something I had to do earlier in this year. And also fun activities outside of your normal hobbies and travel. Like, what is something you've always wanted to do, whether it's go for a hike or take a few days off to do nothing, talk to no one, go nowhere. And it's up to you. Like I said, this is your life. This is simply just a check-in and to see how you're doing in these areas. And it's not to discourage you. It's not to make you feel like, dang, I'm not making any progress. No. This is just an opportunity for you to be mindful of it, so then you can make the improvements to get her done. And there's no real timeline. Just because you didn't save $10,000 in the first 6 months doesn't mean you can't do it in the second month. Or maybe you were so close. Maybe you saved $7,000. That's better than zero. So far, my savings is at about $5, okay? Real talk. My goal is to save $10,000 this year, but life happens, bills happen, taxes happen, and sometimes you just gotta let the savings save you. But again, that's my personal journey. Your journey is going to be different. And of course, after that, we want to consider our business, our career, our jobs. How are we doing there? Do you still love it? Do you enjoy it? Do you need to remix it? Do you need to fix something in your personal life so you can enjoy your work more? Do you hate it? Do you love it? Do you want to quit? Do you want to start a new career? Do you want to start a business? How are you doing? All right. This whole process is to slow things down, to pause, to reflect, to celebrate your wins as well. I was going to save that point for the end, but I think it's important that we are celebrating our wins along the way and not just jump into the next task, okay? Business and career is a major part of our day-to-day life. In fact, most of us probably spend more time working than we do fostering these relationships with our family, our friends, our community, with our partners, or on our self-care. So if your business, career, and or job make you miserable, that's going to impact all of these other categories that we talked about. So again, check in with yourself. Do you need to work less? Do you need to work more? Do you need to hire help? Do you need to update some policies and procedures, hours of operation, decrease inventory, increase inventory? I know it can be overwhelming, especially going through your whole entire life, but it's important that you check in with yourself and you know, include as many people that you need to in this process that also will be impacted by these decisions. But for the most part, this is for you to have an overview of your life and where it's at and where it's going. Is it progressing? Is it digressing? Is it suffering? Is it thriving? Or are we cool? We even keel. We're on the right track. Let's keep going. And sometimes we just need those subtle reminders that you're doing a good job, okay? You're doing a good job. Even if things feel like they're falling apart, you're still making progress and you're still moving forward. You wake up every day and choose you. That's what's key. What you get done is what you get done, okay? And lastly, of course, probably the biggest one that might impact us the most mentally, physically, and emotionally is our financial health. How are you doing in this area? I know it can be a sensitive topic, which is why I like to have separate money conversations for different videos, because oftentimes we're working, overworked, underpaid, feeling stuck, always in debt. The money is spent before it even comes to my bank account, before it even hits the bank account. You know, so there's so many different areas that we can reevaluate with our spending habits, with our money traumas, with our money habits as well, that can prevent us from experiencing such jarring episodes, whether it's a big bill that we kind of anticipated, but we're in denial about facing it, or maybe you're getting charged double for something, for a subscription that you made 2 accounts for that you just keep forgetting to unsubscribe to. It could be the smallest of changes or the biggest of changes. And financial health plays a major part in how we are in general. And I want us all to be successful, and I want us all to achieve our dreams and our goals. But it takes doing stuff like this to check in with yourself, to check in with your community, your team, your coworkers, your employees, whatever the case may be, to make sure that we're all on the same page to make this happen. Otherwise, it's just going to crumble beneath us, and we're going to look back like, what happened? Oh, I never checked my financial health. Oh, I now have to take 3 weeks off because for whatever case, my doctor said I have to, and I never put into place those procedures if and when I am out of town or out injured or sick. And it really takes a lot of initiative and effort on your part to step up and get these things done. And if you want to take your life seriously, and if you really want to put yourself first and care for yourself, it's touching base with you on a bare minimum biannual basis. Top of the year, middle of the year, top of the year, middle of the year. I recommend doing this quarterly, but it's up to you where it fits into your life and what you have the capacity for. But truly, I can't see this doing any harm to you per se, but everyone's different. I can't guarantee any surprising, amazing results or perfection. But what I can guarantee is that you are building a relationship with you in order to have more strength and guidance and confidence in yourself in your future endeavors and decisions. So let me know how this month's check-in goes for you. These are just a few categories that we can focus on. And I will do my best to put a PDF or some sort of reference in the description below for you to access, so you aren't just having to commit all these things to memory. You can reference this at any point in time in your life. You know, you could dedicate a quarter. All right, quarter 1, we're going to focus on business, physical health, and hobbies. Quarter 2, we're going to maintain those 3 things that we mentioned, but now we're going to focus on spiritual, mental, emotional health, and relationships with my family and my community. You don't have to do all this all at once. Like I said, you could break it up and take as much time as you need to get it to where you see it fit. But just know there's always work to be done in all areas of our life, but just celebrate your wins along the way and commit to yourself, commit to your values, commit to your mission, commit to your why, and stick to that. And if you believe in God, always keep God first. But that's all I got for this episode. Thank you again for watching. My name is Lillian Hernandez. Again, this was just a check-in video. I did have my outline, but there was no real script or things for us to implement right away. You know, these are things that we're just checking in with ourselves now, and we can implement as we go. Spread it out throughout the year. Spread it out throughout 2 years, 5 years, you know, whatever you feel is fit. And again, surprises happen, life happens. It's okay. It's part of the process. Spring always comes. So look forward to that. But if you do have any questions, visit transactioncare.com. I would love for you to set up a one-on-one coaching session with me. I coach beyond transaction coordination in real estate. I'm really a big advocate of our mental health. And if I could do anything to help you in that process, to see life differently, to enjoy life, to have that true location, not just location independence, but that time freedom, and for you to recognize your power today, I would love to be a small part in your big journey of life and celebrations and success. But until then, care for yourself, care for your wealth. Your time is worth it. Let's coordinate. Talk soon. And you know what? Before you go, click on one of these rectangles right here to watch some more videos. And if you aren't subscribed, just double tap on my smiley face right there and hit that subscribe button. Talk to you later.